Okay, hello everybody. My name is Alex. Pleasure to see you again. We're just going to run through a little bit of deeper dive on the demo we did today.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Jop. I'm a co-founder of the Beans app, and like Alex said as well, like we're going to dive a little bit deeper in the whole integration we did with the Blend protocol. And first, to kind of talk you guys through a little bit what Beans is, what we do, what the problem was that we ran into, and how we could solve that with a party like Blend. And then after that, we show a little bit of the actual integration and also some extra tooling that Blend provides, which makes that all like a lot more easy. So yeah, let's dive right into it. So yeah, what is Beans? Beans is an international payments app. We have users all around the world, and people can send money instantly, easily, and at zero fees. And like one of our strongest points is that we have like a bank-like UX, so it should look and feel like a traditional banking app. And this just makes it real easy. We don't call any public keys or private keys. We sponsor all the network fees, so if you want to send somebody $5 US, they will receive $5 US. Everything works like a traditional banking app. So yeah, what else? Like you can on and off ramp fiat currencies through our wallet as well. So we have like a lot of locations all around the world through some of our partners. And yeah, we had some questions from some of our users because some of these users, of course, come from a little bit more challenging areas in the world with like economic problems. And they asked us like, how can they put money in a more stable currency and in the meantime also earn yield? And yeah, that's basically what got us thinking a little bit and what were the requirements. So it needed to be easy to use. It needs to work with like low volumes as well. It needs to be fast. It needs to be easy to integrate with, and it needs to be decentralized and secure. And yeah, if you put that all together, like we found out that like integrating with a party like Blend would be like the way to go. So maybe Alex, you can tell a little bit more about Blend.
I would love to. So yeah, Blend, as it says here, is a universal liquidity protocol primitive. And that's kind of a mouthful, and thankfully y'all were here for the lending session before. But basically at a high level, Blend is kind of a generator of lending market of sorts. And because it was kind of quick when we went through the actual main stage presentation, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper for you all so we can kind of see like where we expect parties to use and utilize Blend. So basically, yeah, Blend allows anyone to actually make a fully permissionless, efficient, and secure market. So really, this can be anyone from token issuers, on-off ramps, people processing remittances, or really a DAO, for example. Like, kind of the list is almost endless. And through our protocol, it basically generates two things that are vital. It creates a flexible lending pool, and this is something that people can use whatever assets they support. They can manage who's the owner if it's a DAO, if there's no owner and it's fixed forever, and kind of like some of the lending parameters that maybe work for them. And it also comes with a backstop module. And this part is kind of a weird word, but this is essentially like a baked-in insurance mechanism. And it also seconds as our anti-spam, which we'll get into a little bit later. But it's really important because this essentially ensures that whoever's creating these lending pools actually has to pony up a little bit of insurance. So in the case that a hack happens or someone gets money stolen, there's bad collateral in the system, people who supply funds don't actually end up losing it. So just to hopefully like uncover the picture of like what our whole protocol actually looks like, we're going to dig into what our contract structure actually is. And hopefully I don't go too deep, but we will have a little bit of time for questions, so please feel free to also stop me and ask. I'm totally cool with that. But our protocol basically starts with what I like to call the cornerstone. And you'll see about a little Pikachu, it's probably the most important player in the system. This is the emitter, and really its only job as of now is it defines the thing that provides all the insurance. And that's really kind of the most important takeaway that we have here. And the thing that provides all the insurance is the backstop module. And we have Blastoise because this is really kind of the carrier of the team. It's the thing that allows us to allow anybody to actually create lending markets. Without this thing here, we would end up in really odd scenarios where people can create any sort of scam, unsafe lending market, and users would be exposed to it almost directly. And we'd have no way to really kind of tell how safe something actually is. And its primary job is it basically protects pools and defines what a pool actually is. So The way it does that is it specifies a pool factory, which is the third contract in our system. You'll see by the little Mootz here, this guy can be anything you want it to be. So this actually is the thing that defines the exact hash of the WASM that will be the lending pool. And this is important such that all lending pools within Blend are all the exact same thing, at least at the very base layer. And then we have the important part where people actually end up interacting with our system. And this final little contract here is going to be very similar to some of the protocols that were up here talking earlier. This is the lending pool. And subjected by Ditto, it really can be formed into whatever functionality you need. And it's the thing that tracks all the collateral, performs the liquidations, manages borrowed assets, charges interest, all that fun stuff. And you can see by Ash, again, this is the point where we actually allow people to access things, and this is the location where folks like Beans or any other wallet or a user just accessing the Sorb on RPC actually are able to interact with the thing. So.
Yeah, so I thought it would be nice to give like a really short recap on the video that we showed at the keynote to give like a good idea about how simple an integration could look like from a wallet perspective. So this is a withdrawal. You just open the US dollar balance, you click on convert, then you put in like $50 to go from the from the savings to the spendable. You click on convert and you just wait a couple of seconds and it basically is done. And now the money has been taken outside or out of the lending pool smart contract system. So it could be as simple as this if you do it the right way. And let's dive into a little bit of code as well. So this is basically some code to deposit or also withdraw some money or funds from a contract from Blend. So as you can, I don't know if it's readable, but it basically is you fetch the account, you define like which kind of currency you want to put inside of this lending pool, you put in the amount, and you put in a request type, and that can be like a deposit or a withdrawal. All this information you pass into an info contract host function, then you build like an operation out of this, and then you basically simulate it. So that's a little bit different than the Stellar Classic approach. So you first need to simulate it, you receive some information back, and then you can fact check and you feel like, okay, this sounds legit, this is what I expect. If that's the case, you can use that simulation to set the authentication on your transaction, and then you can basically send the transaction to the RPC server. And then basically you just need to start polling for the result. And that's also a little bit different than the traditional way of interacting with Stellar. But this is basically the code that actually is executed, what you saw in the video, and causes the connection with Blend. And we also had some additional information like APY, so all that kind of information, how is that calculated? So here you also see some code, but could be a bit confusing, you know, like it's difficult code, but it's like should not bother for people to start using the system because it's basically some of the code that the guys from Blend wrote. So they basically have like an SDK that you can use. It's the Blend SDK, and it basically wraps all the difficult mathematical code like into a simple function. So like you see here, we have an estimate data function, and that's basically the code that you saw before. And they all set it up in a SDK. So they did all the hard work, and they make it real easy for people to integrate with a protocol like Blend. So yeah, don't feel like that it's too difficult. Everybody can do it as long as you put in the time and the effort. And yeah, how amazing is this? Together with Blend, you have like immutable contracts. So you have lending pools that you know that nobody can poke around in or nobody can change anything. It's like once deployed, it's always going to be the same. Blend is open source, so props to that because it means that everything can be validated as well. So yeah, it's super transparent. And they have really low cost because of the efficient system that Stellar built for like smart contracts. So I think that's super amazing, and that like you can build like really nice solutions out of it. And yeah, some real world use cases, like we said before as well, like in our app now you can deposit or withdraw fiat currencies. So you convert fiat currencies to digital currencies, and then you can convert it to like US dollars to escape inflation, or you put it in like a lending pool like Blend to earn some yield. And all of that just with a couple of clicks on your mobile device. And I think that's really amazing that we can achieve something like this nowadays. And I think there's no app out there that can do something like this simple and yeah, touch into DeFi and do everything else. So yeah, I'm really excited about all this stuff, but it didn't come without challenges because, of course, it's like early stage Soroban. And yeah, this means that like many updates and then like things started breaking a little bit, and then like every time you need to fix all this stuff. So it's for us, it's like been challenging, so to speak. Also, yeah, when you receive some error messages, sometimes it's not totally clear like what's going wrong, but this is all like early stage Soroban adoption, and I'm pretty sure that the Stellar team will work really hard on it, and that like within maybe a couple of months or maybe even a little bit more, but like this is going to be solved like pretty soon, I'm sure, because Stellar is like building really high quality tools for everybody to use. So props to the Stellar team for making this all possible. And of course, we also had like some architectural differences in the current solution. So currently we had the different assets, so to speak. So we had yield generating assets which were different from the normal assets. So you could have USDC, but then also YUSDC. Were two totally different assets. And now with the Blend protocol, you basically put the same asset inside of a pool, and that starts generating yield for you. So that's like, it was a fundamental change in our system, and it took like a lot of time for us. It was really time consuming to get that to work because our whole system was based around having two different currencies. So if somebody in the audience is thinking to do the same, don't underestimate it, because it's going to change like a lot in your system. But yeah, don't feel obliged. Like I think the short summary is it's like amazing systems and it's easy to interact with. But yeah, know what you get yourself into, and yeah, I think those were like the main challenges that we bumped into writing the integration with Blend. And yeah, I think that was it. So it wraps it up for some questions, I feel.
Yeah, we probably have time actually to do
sorry.
We can actually do a super quick demo.
Yep.
So for the the Beans demo that you saw on the main stage, basically we're using FutureNet, which has been deployed and running Soroban for a while. But on there we have deployed a test pool. So you'll see I came up with I'll probably make this a little bigger just so you all can see. I came up with a really creative name called Example Pool. But as you can see, basically, this website basically shows roughly all of the pools that have a very high balance in the backstop, because this is the test net and I can make things the way I want. This only has $2,500 of value, and it's the only one there. So this is the one that, say, we want to interact with. At a quick view, we can tell that it supports XLM and USDC. So I can go ahead and go to the dashboard. This will give you a very quick summary about any active positions you've already made. So in this case, you'll see this user has supplied 1,000 XLM, and they're currently earning approximately 1.47% yield. And for any of those people who want to attempt to integrate or view more about how this actually works, all of this code is open source, so you can directly see where these numbers are coming from and how we're actually calculating them. But the fun part is that now that we have 1,000 XLM in the system, at a high level, we can see roughly that equates to about $90 of borrow capacity. So let's say I really want some dinner tonight, and I need to borrow some funds. You probably shouldn't buy dinner with borrowed funds, but that is beyond the point. So I can go ahead and see that, okay, this pool does have USDC available for me to borrow, and they'll charge me about 5%. I can go ahead and say maybe, yeah, I need $50. I'll get a quick transaction overview. Obviously, this number at the very moment is not real because we don't have information about how much the gas will cost on XLM yet. But now, from this point, I'm actually able to borrow. And I'll see I get a transaction in my wallet. Unfortunately, the information that is displayed through the invoke host function, at least through Freighter at this moment, is a little hard to decode. As there's better options to actually see truly what you're submitting to the network, hopefully we'll be able to get that information up in front of you. And then I can go ahead and approve this transaction, and it will submit to the network. And once it's submitted, it'll tell me it's all good. And I can return and view that I am now borrowing 50 USDC. And the fun part about this is that we're actually using Stellar asset contracts for all this. So as Tyler showed in the demo this morning, if you all were here for it, this actually means that I have these assets on Stellar Classic to be able to use as well if I'm using, payments through Stellar Classic or any form of activity through the Stellar network that I've wanted to use before. You'll notice that automatically if I go ahead and view my account, that I now have a balance of 50 USDC. So that's just a really quick introduction. You're totally welcome to come play around with it. Everything's on FutureNet and fully open source. So we welcome anyone to play around with it and try and break it. And we have a few minutes left. So if anybody does have any questions, I think, either about Beans, Blend, or the process of integration, we'd be happy to take them.
True.
And if there's none, that's okay. We'll be done a few minutes early for you, Justin. Give you some time back.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thanks,
All right.
Thanks
Everybody.
everybody.
Thank you. Thanks so much. That was awesome.